Do you watch those HGTV house flipping shows and wonder, are they really making that kind of money? Are you skeptical that house flipping really works? In this video, I'm going to answer the question, can you really make money flipping houses? My name is Lauren Hardy and I'm a real estate investor. I've been flipping houses for almost 10 years now. I started when I was 25 years old. It has enabled me to be able to quit my full-time job, and I've been self-employed ever since I was 25. The way I was able to quit my full-time job was I flipped only 2 houses. With that, I was able to bank enough money and I was able to save up a total of over a year's salary, and I was able to quit my job. So it really worked out perfectly for me. So in this video, I'm gonna share how I made a year's worth of salary flipping those homes. I'm also gonna talk about how you can get into flipping houses. I'm also gonna share the secret to making real money when you're house flipping. And I'm also gonna talk about the dark side, how people lose money flipping houses. So how did I make a year's salary flipping 2 houses? In my first year, I flipped 2 condos. They were based in Laguna Niguel and Laguna Hills. I'm gonna break down the numbers for both of these deals. The purchase price was $125,000. The rehab or construction costs were around $30,000. The closing costs, commissions, and escrow repairs were about $25,000. And I had to pay $12,000 to my private money lender who funded the entire deal because I didn't have any money. So after the deal was said and done and we sold it, we closed it with a $60,000 profit. It was amazing. Now, I did 2 of those. So both of those condos I did actually had very similar numbers. So for the ease of it, I just broke that down for you. I did 2 of those and each one made 60 each. So I was able to save up a lot of money with those deals. The crazy thing looking back was that it wasn't a full-time job at all. I was working an 8 to 5 corporate job at the time. So this was a complete side hustle. I was able to flip these 2 houses in a year, and it was relatively easy. I didn't have to do that much work. My goal that entire year was that I wanted to quit my full-time job because I wanted to be at home with my kids. I wanted to find a career path where I could work from home. And I wanted to be home with my kids. I wanted to be able to take them to the park at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. So house flipping just made sense. After I hustled that year, I did those 2 deals, I was able to quit my full-time job and it felt like complete freedom. So how could someone like you get into house flipping? There's different ways and different approaches to looking at house flipping. You could be like me right now, who I'm a full-time house wholesaler and house flipper. I also know a great friend of mine who takes it a completely different way. She actually buys fixer-upper homes. They live in it for a couple years, fixing it up while they're living in it, and then they sell it for more than they bought it for. To me, that's a version of house flipping too. And in fact, she made so much money doing that, she was able to stay at home with her kids, and the money that she made, she was able to pocket. You could also flip houses part-time. I know plenty of people that have full-time jobs and they flip houses part-time on the side to supplement their income. So there's many different approaches to flipping houses, and you need to figure out within yourself which one makes sense for you. I will say that being a full-time house flipper seems really attractive, but there are some downsides to it I can share. There is a lot of pressure in finding deals, and when it gets harder to find deals, you're not going to maybe make as much money on each one. It might get a little stressful. It's stressful when you don't have that other form of income coming. I do highly recommend keeping your job and you have this other income coming, but you're flipping houses on the side. I think that's a beautiful way to do it. It wasn't so much for me because of my goals. I really wanted to be home with my kids, but for a lot of people who are maybe a little bit more risk adverse, flipping houses on the side is an amazing thing to do. So next, what is the secret to making money when you're flipping houses? The secret is to buy low and sell high. You need to buy these properties at a rate where you have enough money to fix them up and put them back on the market, pay all the expenses like the commissions and the title fees and your lender, and still profit at the end of the sale. So you need to know your numbers and make sure that in the buy position, you are buying at a discount. One way to really make sure that you are cutting costs is you want to keep your repairs low. And the way that you do that is you want to take multiple contractors through the property and bid the property out to multiple people. That way you are getting the most competitive pricing in construction. Another thing, don't get carried away on the design. Listen, HGTV is filming a TV show. They need content for viewers to watch, and it would be very boring if they kept seeing the same white shaker cabinets everywhere. You need to keep your repairs low, and sometimes when you get excited about the design elements, you can get a little carried away. I am guilty of it, and sometimes I have to rein it back in. So remember that you are trying to make money here. You are an investor. You are trying to maximize your profit. And a lot of these design elements, they really do not add to the value of the home. So how do people lose money flipping houses? I have a saying, if you haven't lost money flipping a house, you haven't done enough deals. Anyone who has flipped at volume has lost money. If you haven't, you probably haven't put yourself out there or taken much risk. You lose money on a deal when your anticipated profits get eaten up either by repairs or unforeseen expenses. Another way a lot of people lose money is they buy speculatively. So they think, okay, I'm gonna buy this home, but you know what? I know that its after repair value right now might be $500,000, but I think the market is going up. So I'm gonna bet that this house will sell for $550,000. That's speculative buying, and a lot of people got crushed doing that in previous markets. So a rule of mine is I don't ever buy speculatively. I will only buy properties based off of the current comps at this time. Another way people lose money is they underestimate the remodel. So it's really easy to do this, and I've fallen into this trap before. You go, you look at a property, you think it's not so bad, but then as you get into it, you start adding to the scope of work. Sometimes this is because you're being a designer. Sometimes this is because you found things in the walls you weren't expecting. Your contractor did not fully see everything or fully complete his bid, and he gave you too low of a number at first. This happens to the best of us, so do your best to avoid it, but hopefully you bought at a price low enough where you don't lose money. Another way people lose money is they get screwed by their contractor. Now this just sucks, but it does happen. I've had contractors rip me off before. I've had contractors take my money and not complete the work, and you can't find them. This does happen when you are doing a lot of volume. It's very unfortunate, and it's kind of one of those moments you lick your wounds and you move on. Another real common thing that could happen is that the market turns. So we live in market cycles. Real estate markets always go in cycles. So the market, for example, at the time of filming this video is super, super hot, but what goes up must come down. There's going to be a time where real estate values are going to drop. They can't keep going up and up and up. If you follow history, that's the way it goes in our economy. So it could happen where you're flipping a home, and while you're working on the property or during your holding time, the market value changes. That happens. It happens to the best of us. It is a risk you take when you're a house flipper. The way I like to look at it is, in 9 years, I've made a lot of money flipping houses, but I have lost some as well. You win some, you lose some. Now, hopefully you make more so it doesn't hurt as bad when you lose on a couple. I personally like volume flipping, meaning that I'm flipping a lot of homes at the same time, because the idea is if you have 10 projects, what are the chances that all 10 are going to be a loss? Probably not. You're probably going to be profitable on 9 of them. And maybe you get one rotten egg, but you know what? That one that you lost on, you made enough profit on the other 9 to make up for it, and it's not a big deal. Another thing too is if you buy at the right price and you do your numbers the right way, usually the losses are not very significant. I mean, we're not talking $50,000 loss, although that could happen. Sometimes a loss is just $5,000 and it's not that big of a deal. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video about house flipping. If you want more resources, I want you to check out www.laurenhardyco.com and check out some of my free resources. I've got a virtual mini course. I've got some other links to software that I use. Check it out. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Thanks.